Once upon a time, nestled on a sun-warmed rock, lived a lively young sea lion pup named Zeke. His fur was as sleek and dark as a wet pebble, and his whiskers twitched with endless curiosity. Zeke was never still for long, his flippers always ready for a splash, a wiggle, or a dart through the cool ocean waves. His best friends were Marina, with her calm, wise eyes, and Finn, who was always ready for a giggle and a playful nudge. Their favorite playground was just below the surface, a magnificent forest made of tall green kelp. It swayed gently with the ocean's breath, reaching up towards the dappled sunlight like 100 friendly arms. This was where they played their most cherished game, KELP Ballet. It wasn't about fancy jumps or speedy races. It was about moving together, a graceful line of sea lions weaving through the emerald fronds, their movements perfectly matched. Ready, friends? Zeke one sunny afternoon, his nose already pointed towards the inviting blue. Marina nodded, her sleek head dipping, and Finn let out a joyful squeak. With a splash, they dove into the cool water. The kelp fronds tickled their bellies as they began to swim, trying to stay in a perfect flowing line. Marina led, her tail flicking with gentle rhythm. Finn glided right behind her, a shadow of her grace. But Zeke, oh Zeke! He was so fast, so full of wiggles and flips. He loved the feeling of the water rushing past him, loved to tumble and twist. He tried to stay in line, he really did. For a few short moments, he matched Marina's elegant turns and Finn's smooth glides. Then, a particularly tall strand of kelp caught his eye, just begging for a daring loop-the-loop. Whoosh! Zeke zipped ahead, a blur of dark fur, performing a magnificent, bubbly somersault that sent small fish scattering. Marina and Finn stopped, their movements faltering. The beautiful line they were trying to create dissolved. Marina let out a soft, and Finn shook his head, a tiny bubble escaping his lips. Zeke, Marina gently, we're supposed to be together. Zeke, still dizzy from his fantastic flip, looked back. The magic of their shared dance had vanished, replaced by a quiet stillness. He hadn't meant to spoil it, but his own spectacular trick had just felt so good. The friends spent the rest of the afternoon sunning themselves, but there was a quiet air of longing among them. Tomorrow, however, was special. Tomorrow brought the golden hour. The golden hour was the most magical time of day in their underwater world. It happened in the late afternoon, just before the sun began its sleepy descent. During this hour, the sun's warm rays slanted through the water, transforming the entire kelp forest into a shimmering golden cathedral. Every frond glowed, every little fish seemed to sparkle, and the water itself looked like liquid gold. Wouldn't it be wonderful, Marina mused, her eyes sparkling, to perform our most perfect, most beautiful ballet dance during the golden hour? Finn clapped his flippers together in agreement, his whiskers trembling with excitement. Oh yes! A dance of pure gold. Zeke's heart thumped with excitement too. He pictured himself, a dark silhouette against the golden light, performing the most amazing twists and turns. But then he remembered Marina's gentle sigh and Finn's disappointed shake of the head. He wanted to be part of their perfect dance. I promise, Zeke said, looking at his friends with sincere eyes. I will stay in formation this time. I won't dart ahead. I'll move with you both, like a team. Marina and Finn smiled, their faces brightening. They spent the next morning practicing, imagining the golden light, rehearsing their graceful dives and sweeping turns. Zeke tried his very best, focusing on Marina's tail, matching his strokes to hers. It was harder than doing his own tricks, but there was a different, gentle kind of joy in it. Finally, the late afternoon arrived. A hush fell over the ocean as the sun began its slow journey downwards. And then it began. The light, at first just a soft yellow, deepened into a glorious shimmering gold. It painted the surface of the water with streaks of light, and below, the kelp forest truly became a forest of gold. Every frond seemed to hum with silent magic. "It's the golden hour," whispered Finn, his voice full of wonder. "Ready?" Marina asked, her voice soft but clear. They looked at Zeke, remembering his promise. Zeke nodded, his gaze fixed on his friends, his heart full of determination. Marina took the lead, her movements slow and deliberate, a true artist of the water. She began a graceful looping dive, her sleek body cutting a perfect path through the glowing water. Finn followed, a breath behind her, mirroring her every elegant curve. They were a single flowing ribbon of motion. Zeke followed too for a moment. He saw their shapes, beautiful and unified, against the golden backdrop. He felt the rhythm of their shared movement, a gentle pull in his flippers. But then, a particularly bright sunbeam, like a pathway of pure light, appeared right in front of him. It seemed to call his name, promising the most dazzling stage for his grandest trick. All his promises, all his good intentions, suddenly evaporated in a burst of pure, uncontainable excitement. "Look at me," his heart seemed to cry. Forgetting everything, Zeke darted ahead of Marina and Finn, right into the brightest part of the golden sunbeam. He propelled himself upwards with all his might, spinning and twisting, a flurry of bubbles and flashing fur. Splash! He performed a huge, magnificent, bubbly double twist, landing with a joyful, triumphant wiggle. But when he looked back, expecting cheers, there was only silence. The synchronized dance was ruined. Marina and Finn had stopped, frozen in the water, their shapes no longer flowing. The magical moment, which had been so full of potential, was lost, broken by his sudden, chaotic display. The golden light still shimmered, but its magic felt distant now. They surfaced, shaking water from their whiskers. Marina's eyes were sad, not angry. "The dance was supposed to be for all of us, Zeke," she said softly, her voice barely a whisper. Finn just looked away, a small sigh escaping him. Zeke was left floating by himself. The amazing double twist he had just performed, which had felt so magnificent only moments ago, now felt strangely empty and lonely. The water, which had been so exhilarating, now felt cool and a little bit cold. He watched his friend swim slowly towards a quieter patch of kelp, leaving him alone in the still golden water. As Zeke floated, feeling a little sting in his heart, he looked around. The kelp forest, still bathed in the incredible golden light, continued its silent ballet. He watched the long green fronds swaying and dancing. They weren't competing to be the brightest or the tallest. They weren't trying to out-twirl each other. They were all moving together, gently pushed and pulled by the same invisible ocean current, creating a breathtaking, unified pattern. No single frond was trying to be the star. Their beauty came from the way they all danced as one. Zeke watched them for a long, long time, mesmerized by their silent, unified ballet. And as he watched, something clicked inside him. Aha! The beauty of the kelp wasn't in any single frond, no matter how bright or long. It was in the way they all moved together, a collective, graceful sway. He suddenly understood. The joy of their game, the kelp forest ballet, wasn't about doing the flashiest tricks. It was about the feeling of swimming in perfect time with his friends, creating something beautiful together. It was about the warm, fuzzy feeling of being a part of a team, a flowing, unified line. His grand double twist had been spectacular, but it hadn't made him feel as wonderful as he thought it would. Slowly, Zeke swam over to where Marina and Finn were resting, their backs turned slightly away from him. He gave a soft, apologetic bark. "Let's try one more time," he said, his voice quiet. "I understand now." Marina and Finn turned to look at him, a glimmer of hope in their eyes. The golden hour was almost over, the light beginning to fade into softer hues of orange and pink. But they nodded. Together, they dove back into the water. This time, Zeke didn't look for a sunbeam to be the star. He focused completely on Marina, matching her speed, arching his back when she did, synchronizing his tail flicks with hers. He felt Finn swimming close behind him, a comforting presence. They moved as one, a seamless, flowing ribbon of 3 sea lions. It wasn't a long dance, just a short, perfect sequence through the last of the golden light. But as they swam, weaving and turning together, a warmth spread through Zeke's chest. It felt more wonderful than any solo trick he had ever done. The quiet harmony of their shared movements, the feeling of unity, filled him with a joy that was deeper and more lasting than any applause. As the last golden light faded from the water, they surfaced, panting slightly but with happy, contented barks. They had done it. They had danced their perfect ballet together. Zeke had learned that the magic of being together, of creating something beautiful with his friends, was far more rewarding than being the center of attention. That night, huddled closely with Marina and Finn on their warm, familiar rock, Zeke felt a deep, peaceful sleep settle over him. As he drifted off, he dreamt of the golden kelp forest, not of his own flips, but of their beautiful, unified dance, a silent, perfect ballet in the heart of the ocean.